Hello and welcome to the Miniatures Rundown Podcast, Episode 6, where we talk to you about what's been going on in miniatures gaming this week, or rather the last 2 weeks, and with us. I'm Josh.
I'm CJ.
What's been going on with you?
I had
Great radio there, CJ.
It's the dead air
Please stand by.
That's a Homestar Runner reference. Ask your parents. So yeah, like specifically, as far as gaming and stuff has been going, it's the usual. I got thrashed in Necromunda again.
To be fair, Brian did accidentally misread a rule.
Yeah,
and brought D3
extra dudes
plus one wreckers when he really should not have.
Well, yeah, added to his roster instead of added to his team. Oops,
yeah.
It's fine.
But
Whatever.
hey, we learned something.
Yes. Necromunda is a fair and balanced game.
Oh God, no, it's not.
No, it's not, and that's fine.
Necromunda is Games Workshop not even pretending to make a balanced game. Figure it out. You have an arbitrator. What does that mean? Yes, I don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, so that went poorly. And then I brought my knights out for the first time in a while. It's the other couple weeks ago, last Monday, just to do it. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible.
Well, at least not terrible.
Yeah. Being -1 to hit against, I was playing against new Eldar, and being -1 to hit against swooping hawks and that sort of thing, like going from hitting on 3s to hitting on 4s is such a huge leap.
Yes, it is.
It's just so bad, guys. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yep.
Week before that, I brought my Eldar out for the first time. Felt pretty good about that. Really wish I would have gotten to use my shining spears that I had put together the night before, but they got eaten by thunderwolves.
Oh no.
Well, whatever. Did not win that game either. And if anybody in their right mind around here cared about their win-loss record, well, they wouldn't be in their right mind. But that's just the long and the short of that. Anyway, you have played
Necromunda.
Yep,
yeah,
that's it.
The same night that you were getting utterly riggedy wrecked
That's right.
by Brian, I was playing a 3-way game with Mitchell and Sean, our friends, Orlock Corpse Grinder Cult and Orlock, respectively. We played the Moot mission, which is where all 3 gang leaders meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And then nobody else on the board gets activated until a gunshot goes off within 12 inches and they pass an intelligence check.
Oh, okay.
Poor Mitchell, whose Corpse Grinders do not have guns for most of them. First off, he rolled really poorly on the guys he got to bring. He almost got all of his juvies. Now, his leader is an absolute terror in melee.
Right, yeah.
But he rolled poorly on those, and then he just rolled poorly on his spacing, and he did not win that by
Things
virtue
went south.
by virtue of just very bad luck. I ended up winning that one mostly by virtue of way decent luck.
Yeah.
I also got to play with chems for the first time, toxins, and the Escher Chem Alchemy, which is really fun stuff. Hit somebody, get them -1 to everything for the rest of the game, knock them out, knock them down, remove their ready marker. Shenanigans. Necromunda is full of shenanigans, and I got to finally use shenanigans.
One of my juves and one of Brian's juves, or one of Brian's wreckers, were that far away from each other. So he's hitting on 2s.
How?
With a scatter gun.
Oh yeah, because it's +2 at short range.
So he shoots me, gets 1 possible wounding hit, rolls a 1.
Yep.
So I have a juve at close range, probably as far away from as we are, with the stub gun. So I'm +2 to hit. Shoot, roll a 1, ammo check.
Necromunda, never changed.
Everything that could have gone wrong with that mission did.
I did want to talk about something we both did, was that we had the first of hopefully many hobby nights here at the local game store.
Yes.
Our friend Kevin, who's kind of the local leader for the Age of Sigmar group, decided to put together a night where people just came and brought their models to build and paint just together. A couple people still played Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
He played someone's very first game with him, which was really cool to watch.
Yep.
But the rest of us, we just kind of hung around, built. I mostly built because I forgot all my paints at home. CJ painted his Cavalier's Death Fighters.
Yep.
For OBR. I sat next to Cheryl painting her wonderful looking Stormcast.
Yeah. It was so weird because I looked out, I didn't realize what she was doing because when I got in, she had all of her stuff base coated already in that very vibrant green that she's painting their armor in. And, I had gone through all 15 of my Cavalos, and I checked in and it was just nothing's... oh, wait. Just kind of got it.
Yeah, no, she was blending.
She was blending and she was edge highlighting.
Yes.
Very busy.
I was building my Outriders and some Stargrave minis, actually.
Yeah.
The Stargrave minis I got from Adepticon actually went together really well. It was also really cool because two people are friends, Riley, and can't remember his name. Darn it. Terrible with names. Anyway, two people brought airbrushes.
Yeah.
We put them by the outside door, put the vent outside. And Riley taught people how to airbrush and kind of showed some people that airbrushing is really not hard or difficult or scary.
No.
Because I know some people are kind of scared by the prospect of, here's $100, you have to drop on an airbrush kit, and oh no, I'm going to ruin it. It's you really won't.
No.
You really won't. I brought my crappy Reaper paints to use, and nobody did because why would you? But it was a great time, a really fun time, just to sit and talk with people. Because, I play AOS here for the people, not necessarily the game.
Yeah, obviously.
And, I do also like the game, don't get me wrong.
Right, yeah.
But I play it here because of the people we play with, and it's just fun to sit down and get some work done and all hang out. And we're looking to do this about once a month from now on, and I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, I did not forget my paints, but I did give a couple people, I think, minor strokes by how I do paint.
Yep. You did deal psychic damage to all around us.
Deal with it.
Both with your paints and your choice of inspiration, and just everything was just wrong.
Yeah, everything was
So
perfect.
wrong.
Anyway,
moving on to the news.
Yeah, hey, the news.
Do you want to start big or start small?
Oh, let's start small, man.
Let's start small. Okay, small. Well, you can't start any smaller than... Here's the thing. By the time this comes out, you will already know what it is they've been teasing.
Yeah.
Games Workshop, through Warhammer Community, has been releasing for the past week, every single day, tagged with Warhammer Underworlds and Harrowdeep, a single paragraph of no real information and a single art picture. It is the most annoying way of reveals they've ever done. Because it's like they're trying to draw it out and tantalize, but this should all just be something in one release article.
Just do it.
But I guess they're just trying. I hope this is not some new thing they're trying out. But it's been art and pictures of a new area of Harrowdeep, which is the current setting for Warhammer Underworlds. This is probably the even deeper version, which is par for the course, because we started with Shadespire, and then
deeper yet still, yes.
Yeah, and then Nightbolt is a deeper subsection of Shadespire. We went to Beastgrave, and then the Dire Chasm, which is a deeper subsection of Beastgrave. And then we went to Harrowdeep, and now we're going to go into a deeper subsection of Harrowdeep.
Harrowdeeper.
Harrowdeeper. Yeah. And then now it doesn't seem like it's been that long, and that's because it hasn't.
Yes.
But if you'll remember, when Games Workshop announced Harrowdeep, they also announced, hey, in addition to completely destroying the old format to try and make you buy new cards for this new format, we are also going to up the release schedule of the boxes to twice a year.
Yay.
And also make them $90. Do I sound cynical? Because I kind of am.
You always do.
And yet, there is the shining light in this Harrowdeepness, which is that art. In the first one, it was just the Stormcast, I forget their names, the Harrowdeep Stormcast.
Yeah.
And like this weird upside down thing, but there was an Eshin Skaven symbol in the background. Ooh. In this most recent art, 3 rat ogres coming out of what are appearing to be like slimy birthing pits.
I hate Skaven.
So
they're grody.
We're getting new Skaven.
Yeah.
And hopefully getting new rat ogres. One of the models that I would argue, one of the worst plastic models still in production by Games Workshop. The joints are so bad they look like 1987 He-Man action figures. Right.
Yep.
The fact that they don't come with, rat chopping action is a shame. So hopefully we're getting new... It's going to be a shame because we're going to get new Skaven models and they're going to be in a Harrowdeep box. Oh boy, that's going to be expensive.
Deep intake of breath.
It's like when Crimson Court came out, and it was the cheapest 4 vampire lords you could buy.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be that, except worse.
Yeah.
Except the other way around.
Yeah.
So we're going to get Eshin. Who knows if it'll be Rat Ogres? It may just be Eshin Skaven. It could be mixed Skaven. We don't know for sure. But we're getting new Skaven with Herodib, which is nice. We're recording on Thursday. On Friday is when it's going to be announced. So by the time this podcast goes up, you'll already know what it is we're talking about.
Yeah. Just assume we said something very pithy and
Hello from the past.
Hello from the past. Yeah.
Send me your Skaven.
Yeah.
I hope it heralds the. It's been rumored that the battle tomes this summer is Skaven versus Sylvaneth, which I think is a solid bet. If for no other reason than good golly gosh, do those 2 books need updates?
Yeah.
Sylvaneth need it bad. Skaven need it less badly rules-wise, but
They
way
definitely
worse
need-
models-wise.
Oh yeah.
And again, we just talked about Tyranids in the previous video we just did, and they didn't get an update, so...
Yeah. What's our next?
so that was the smart... let's go up, and we'll talk Squats and Horus Heresy.
Okay.
So
squats. They're real.
that was like 2 weeks ago. We haven't done a podcast since then. You guys know that?
Flip. They friggin' got us.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this collaboration with Deep Rock Galactic. It's a great video game. I don't know how they got the money. Oh, wait, what? Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. No.
Hate you.
Seriously, though.
Yeah, no, like super rad. Squats have been like the fable, like the holy grail for the longest time.
I mean, it's a verb.
Yeah.
Squatted is a verb for that reason.
Yeah. So what do we call it now? Like de-squatted?
I mean, you can't say Corsaired.
Yeah.
Who was the 1/5 Chaos God that got dropped off the edge of the map?
Malal?
Yeah, Malald.
Yeah.
That doesn't ring. I think Squatted is never going away.
No, I don't think so either. But yeah, in much the same way that nobody stays dead in comic books, except for Jason Todd and Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben doesn't stay dead. They keep him alive every time they need to kill him for a new origin story.
Yeah, exactly.
No nostalgia goes unmined.
Yeah. But
Speaking
yeah, so
of-
now they're what are the leagues of
The Leagues of Votan.
or Wotan, yeah.
It's going to be Votan because it's going to be the bad false... Just like there's bad false Latin, we're going to
Okay.
have bad
The
false
false-
Germanic.
Okay.
So here's my question. We have Vikings
Yeah.
in space already. Space Wolves are that to a T.
Yeah.
Are they going to do that with Squats too, or are they going to lean more into the kind of Germanic thing as a kind of a...
I have no godly idea. Because, like, Squats and 40K originally were friggin' weird bikers.
They were space dwarves.
They were
which meant
literally
they were
space
weird
dwarves.
bikers, and they all had Scottish accents
Yeah.
because that's what Games Workshop dwarves have.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going in the book. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I would apologize for my accent, but Games Workshop won't, so I won't either.
When they say, yeah. No, I don't rightly know what they're going to do to make these guys stand out. They might just be full, like, they might not be based on anything. They might just be full.
Well,
Full
we
random
might have
new.
an idea.
Oh, yeah.
So first off, we've seen from the reveals that they are going to be more technologically advanced.
Yes.
Because they kept some of that Dark Age of technology stuff that they maybe shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So the first off, they're going to be definitely not friends with the Imperium for that reason.
Not super friendly, at least.
So they're
yeah.
probably not going to be Imperium models.
Probably not, no.
But they won't. They'll probably be filed under Xenos, which is not true because Squats are human.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
abhuman.
abhuman, yeah.
But they are just high gravity world humans. They're not Xenos.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. So I saw this on Spiky Bits, so credit to them, which, you know, that's where I saw it first.
Yeah.
I have to, quote your sources even if you don't like them.
Snort.
But they revealed a rumor that maybe one of those, part of that Dark Age of technology stuff is Men of Iron.
Ah, yeah.
And if you look at the armor on that squat they announced,
fairly close to
that armor looks more than a little bit like UR025 from the Blackstone Fortress set,
Yep.
the one Man of Iron model we have. If this is dwarves backed up by true AI, the only true fully sentient AI in the galaxy, that's a very different play space than anything else we have, and
That's
I
very
hope
true.
Games Workshop does that, if for no other reason than it's not just squats. It's, this is new and
Squats and
different.
bots.
Yes.
Squats and
Squats and bots!
I'm in.
And we have the podcast title.
There we go. And speaking of Heresy,
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of no nostalgia shall go unmined.
also, Beakies in Horus Heresy, plastic models.
Yep, we've known Horus Heresy was coming, so they've started leaking and previewing some of the plastic models that are coming.
Yeah, we got Beakies and we've got Legion Praetors.
Yep, the Praetor was just announced today. Really, it painted Imperial Fist color, but you can paint them anywhere you want.
Yeah, the nicest thing about Horus Heresy is that you can get any, like, yeah, there are specialist units, right, for every army, but your basic troops don't change. So, oh man, I have to get another tactical squad. Well, guess I'll just buy the tactical squad and not get shafted having to buy the Blood Angels tactical squad. Oh no, they're out of stock.
Are you waiting for the cynicism to come out?
No.
That's going to change in the plastic edition.
Oh, probably.
They're gonna, because they want people. They don't want you to be able to buy one kit and have a bunch of different armies. They want you to have to buy a bunch of different armies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, the specialist units are going to be where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll put out like, oh, hey, look, Horus Era shoulder pads. I hate it.
I like the little bayonets.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why we stopped using those. They're cool.
Yeah. Reminds me of a Starfinder game I was playing where I had a railgun, like tactical railgun.
Right.
And my DM was like, well, you're going to have to put it away if you want to draw your combat knife.
Fine.
I just asked him, like, it's the, butt o'clock in the, centuries in the future, and we suddenly forgot how to put bayonet lugs on a rifle.
I mean, if you're playing Tau, I believe that, but
right. But I mean, Starfinder is just D&D in space. It's just like, no.
No, it's what happens is I switch to my polearm. And my polearm is just my gun with a very pointy stick on it.
Now that's a Tau with the bayonet. It's a polearm.
That's historical.
Yep.
That's why pikes died out, is because we can make your own pike.
Yeah. Anyway,
so, more plastic Heresy is coming. We're gonna slowly see this drip feeding of previews. Other small thing is that we got to see, speaking of drip feeding of previews, the Necromunda truck train.
Yeah.
What is it called?
I called it the Necro Train.
Necro Train?
But you called it the
Ridge something.
Ridge something, yeah.
Yeah, not the Achilles Ridge Runner. That's from Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
Ridge Hauler.
Ridge Hauler, yeah.
Probably made by the same company.
Probably.
The Ridges or something. Who knows? We got to see that.
Ridge Company.
So we know that the Mercator Guild is going to be a bigger part of Necromunda Ash Wastes.
To the shock of none, I'm sure.
I mean, they have models on that train, so maybe there'll be another faction.
Probably. Well, they'll probably be... I say probably, but like it wouldn't shock me if they replace Palanites in the Ash Wastes, because why would the Palanites leave the hive?
Palanites do go out in the Ash Wastes.
Oh,
I was reading the book the other day.
Oh, okay.
They do have a presence. They do patrols.
Okay.
But the Mercator Guild also could kind of be, if nomads are corpse grinders, Mercators could be enforcers.
Yeah.
But we already know that's not going to be the case because the box is already going to be Orlac versus Ash Waste nomads. So maybe not. Maybe it'll just be on those maybe it'll just be those minis on that truck.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll see. Point is that, you're out there in the wastes.
It's strength 9, bring a las cannon. Or sorry, toughness 9.
Toughness 9, yeah.
Bring a las cannon.
Yeah. If you got one, smoke him if you got him.
I will. I'm going to take Yar Umbra, make him the leader of my outcast.
You're not going to be popular.
And then give him a las cannon too.
There you go.
You ever Overwatch the las cannon?
No.
Interrupting las cannon says what?
Interrupting las cannon says zot.
Interrupting las cannon says boom.
Yeah. So hey, speaking of things that are just released today, at time of recording, the new balance sheet is out.
Yeah, so now let's get on to the big, juicy, delicious steak of news. It's actually not that big of a balance sheet.
No, but it has some really important stuff.
It has some really important things on here.
So yeah, the big thing. Well, I mean, there's no the big thing. It's all big things.
If there's any one the big thing for me, it was the Bodyguard Change.
Right.
Could you explain that to us?
Okay, so change the Bodyguard abilities from enemy models cannot target a character with a range attack to that character unit can use Lookout Sir even if this unit contains fewer than 3 models.
Yeah.
So bodyguard is literally guarding body.
And so that means they have to be closer to the shooter than the guy who's getting shot at.
Yeah, but they can still intercede even if you kill one of them.
And they have to be visible.
Right.
That's the big change. Because that's one of those things where you read it and it's one of those rules as written things. You can hide your bodyguards behind a wall and the guy was out front shooting, and you can't target him because there are bodyguards nearby.
Yeah.
Which is just one of those things where when somebody does that,
it's
you just...
real gamey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really gamey. It's really unsatisfying. It's really hard to deal with. They're changing... there's not that many models in the game that can do it, but they're changing that. It's one of those things that just needs to change.
Yeah.
Harlequin stuff going up in points a little bit.
Indirect fire weapons. This is another one. If you could shoot at something without having a line of sight on it, your ballistic skill is down by 1.
Unless you're playing Astra Militarum.
Unless you're guard.
Unless you're playing the dudes who really need that to be playable.
But this is a direct stab at crisis suits outfitted with air-bursting fragmentation projectors.
Yes, absolutely. This is a take on that.
Yeah. And it's just like, stop it. Fight like a man.
Well, I mean, you're already a Tau, so you're not
Fight
going
like
to do
a
that.
Tau.
Wait.
But yeah.
Look me in the eye when you airbush frag me.
Yeah. This also infects impaler cannons.
Yep.
For Hive Guard, which may not make as much of a difference, which may not be that important now that the new Tyranid book is out. But like even smart missile systems, which were already pretty all right. But yeah, no, Astra Militarum doesn't care.
Well, their artillery does not need that nerf.
No.
That's not a buff to Astra Militarum. That's just we recognize that if we did this to you, your army would be even more unusable.
Yeah.
Hope for that new codex.
Yep. So they did the change to power armor that I've been hoping for a very long time.
See, this is the really big one to me, like the biggest of the big, because it's so widespread and substantial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'll hang on to that for a minute then.
CJ's being a tease.
They removed core from broadside battlesuits in Tau.
Good.
Yeah. Blightlord Terminators and Destro Terminators have OBSEC now, which is good because they didn't have it before.
But it kind of also makes taking Plague Marines even worse.
Yeah. Oh, and another Astra Militarum thing is if every regiment unit in your army is drawn from the same regiment, and every time a regiment model from your army makes a ranged attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds the target.
Which is very good for things that have strength 3.
Yeah.
They also reduce the cost of infantry squads and set all their war gear is at 0.
Yeah.
Does that include weapon upgrades?
No.
No, it doesn't. So you still can't get someone a 0-point plasma gun.
No. You still have to pay for that, but like...
the Voxcaster.
Yeah, Voxcaster is free because they looked at what they had and they realized that everybody is taking it this way and we shouldn't punish them for taking it in a way that makes sense.
Right.
So now, yeah, infantry squad is 10 models, unit cost 60 points. Lottie. I think those are the big ones.
Well, the power armor one we should talk about.
Well, yeah, and then now the power armor one.
So the power armor one is, okay, anybody who's wearing power armor, what factions is it specifically?
Adeptus Astartes, Sanctic Astartes, Heretic Astartes, and Adeptus Sororitas.
Okay.
So anybody who's wearing power armor and is a Space Marine or a Sister of Battle. Not your Inquisitors.
Right.
Not your... I don't think there's anybody else who wears power armor.
I think they're the only ones who got left out.
Yeah. Every time an attack is allocated to an Astartes, basically, worsen the armor penetration of that attack by 1.
Yeah, so it's basically reduce rend by 1.
Yeah. They really need to specify to a minimum of 0.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be some git.
Yeah, or maybe they don't. Maybe they didn't want to specify it to minimum 0.
Yeah.
Because right now that means that you could give... Yeah, like you could make... It's like the club in Necromunda that has +1 AP, which means it gives someone an armor if they didn't have one.
Yeah.
Now your lasgun gives someone an armor, and now your normal ranks are sitting on 2-ups. Which may be intentional, but that doesn't sound good.
No. They're going to need to make a note about this. This rule doesn't apply if you've got a Storm Shield, a Relic Shield, or a Combat Shield.
No stacking, basically.
No stacking, yes. Yeah, just no stacking. But yeah, like, hey, look, power armor matters again.
Well, we had to keep Space Marine relevance somehow until they get their second codex. So we gave them this.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been saying for a long time that they ought to do this just in general to Space Marines, any Space Marines really, that they should have their power armor should. I was gonna say, basically ignore Rend 1, but now this is particularly funny in the heavy and tactical phases, or not. In the heavy and tactical doctrines, which gives you +1 to certain weaponry, it was like, oh, yeah, my Plasma Annihilator is -5. Well, now it's only -4, dork.
Yeah, so coming from Age of Sigmar, what this is making me think of is the safe stacking there.
Yeah.
Where there's a long-running joke that AP1 is basically AP0. That's kind of what this makes me think of.
Yeah, but there's not as easy of a way to get.
No, but it's just my entire army has it now, which is kind of sucks if you only have AP1 weapons.
There's a lot bigger spread of.
Yeah, there are, but
40K
40K has this problem where there's like certain weapons that are so much better than everything else that you take these, and this doesn't seem to be helping that problem.
No,
it seems like we have to make Marines more effective because they're our flagship thing,
and they're getting blown off the table,
and we can't have that. So here's this blanket thing that is going to have widespread repercussions and feel bad because they didn't word it correctly. Oh, well, sucks to be you. We'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's going to be an update about that, like, toot is sweet.
I'm not. I'd love to be wrong, though.
Yeah. Void Weavers went up in price, too, because, of course, they did. Points price.
Yep.
But, yeah, hey. This balance update is nothing but a good thing for me, I think, as somebody with a Chaos Army and a and a Space Marine army.
Fair enough.
This suits me just fine. But we'll see how that goes.
See how it shakes out.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for the news. Are we on to our main topic for today?
Yes.
And what is our main topic for today?
What is the worst mini you've ever built? Not the worst mini you've ever painted, not the worst mini you've ever played with, but what is the worst one that you've ever built?
Oh boy.
What are some of the minis that have given you the biggest problems?
All right. So it's easy here just to say like every metal model.
Yeah.
But I'll say one in particular, Ikit Claw.
Okay.
From Games Workshop. Now known as just the Arch Warlock.
Yeah.
Not the Bombardier, just the Arch Warlock. Made of metal. The pieces don't come together well. It's a beautiful model, and that's why I think, because there's a lot of metal models that just suck, and I'm not counting those.
Right. There are a lot of metal models that suck, but are also one piece.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, Ikit Claw gave me no ends of absolute misery putting that thing together, and he's not that big. He's only that big.
Yeah.
But oh god, the pieces just didn't line up right, and it still doesn't look good. And yeah, and he just drops and dents and breaks and bends, and the staff was bendy and. Yeah, that's my worst metal one.
Okay.
If I had to pick a plastic one, it would be the, this is the non-Games Workshop one. It's the Carrion Effigy from Malifaux.
Yeah.
I have a feeling a lot of people are going to identify with the, supposedly they're better now.
Sure.
But buying that one Carrion Effigy, which is a little Plague Doctor kind of puppet guy from Malifaux, put me off of ever getting further into Malifaux with how difficult and not satisfying to build that thing was.
Yeah.
The pieces were so small and felt unnecessarily small. The beak was an entire piece by itself, and I almost lost it so many times. And then when I did finally get it together, it was spindly and annoying and not fun. And I never painted it because it was so unfun to put together. I didn't want to paint it. I think it's sitting in a bits box somewhere, probably shattered at this point.
I don't want to look at it anymore. Yeah.
What are yours?
I've got a couple of bad ones, like really bad ones that just spring to mind immediately. And two of these are for basically the same reason. The old land speeders and the old current warwalkers.
Okay.
Have this thing where there are two parts that have to fit together, and then you put something through it.
Oh,
don't do that. Not with plastic. Not with metal. Make it one piece. You utter gits.
Yeah, because if the pieces don't come together perfectly, then it doesn't socket perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then you have to go back and green stuff it or put something over it or whatever. But yeah, the land speeders have like these flanges that come around the front that you have to like stick in to the hull to get it to stay in one. Like, yeah, no, I can drown that thing in plastic cement and make it stick. I can chop it off and re-stick it on myself.
I will make it legal.
Yeah. The other two, putting together Mysterio and putting together Ultron in Marvel Crisis Protocol, and to a lesser extent Doctor Strange.
I've heard some of the earlier Marvel Crisis Protocol minis were a bear to assemble.
Yeah.
I'm not done
Mysterio's relatively new.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, it's on brand for him to be hard to put together.
Right. Yeah. But
it's meta.
Yeah. Yeah. Those guys have joints that don't quite fit together right,
I hate
and
that.
they have. I wish to meet the madman that decided that the parts should go together in such a way, so that I may send him back to the pit where he was spawned
That madman
from.
was AutoCAD software that did it automatically.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, but like, not good. But I do have like, and all together now, 40K players, Space Marine 40K players, drop pods.
Oh, I've heard that.
They are the worst. No matter what you do, they will never sit right, fold out correctly. There's always going to be one that's a little bit cockeyed. There's going to be one going side. There's a weird balancing act that has to happen in the middle of the thing. It's just like, you guys know better.
Yeah, they know you.
Well,
bought
they know better now. I sold those things off as fast as I could once I didn't need them anymore.
Let me see. If I had to pick another one, it would be the Balewind Vortex.
Oh, yeah.
From Games Workshop, which is no longer in production,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a reason for that. It's one of their earliest
Endless spells, right?
endless spells kind of thing. Endless spells really a thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good even when assembled correctly, but the gaps on the vortex part itself, oh my god. And if you fill them, unless you are an expert sculptor yourself, you ruin the vortex effect, which is what happened to mine. I hate that Balewind Vortex. A lot of Games Workshop's earlier terrain, because the terrain is produced overseas and it's not produced with the same plastic or with the same molds as most of their other stuff,
Yeah.
a lot of that terrain is very not satisfying to assemble, which is a pain for me because painting terrain is kind of my zen thing.
Right.
But a lot of that terrain, I'm thinking the Balewind Vortex,
Yeah.
the Galvanic Silver Hauler, which is the crane
Oh, yeah.
that I complained about in
crane,
Necromunda,
yeah.
or in Nachmund.
Yeah.
That crane, yeah, I hate that crane.
Mm-hmm.
Assembling it was fine, but getting the hook to the actual crane part, the claw to stay on, is just the worst.
Yeah.
It is the sausage. It is the brat. I hate that thing, and I can't get it to stay on to this day with plastic glue. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I weld it there. Just finds a new point to snap off.
Let's see. Warwalkers additionally have really weak ankles.
More on the Warwalkers.
Yeah, they have really weak ankles that break off really easily. I have
fitting for Eldar, really.
I have 3 of them that I have had my buddy drill out and pin, so they just come on and off. So like, okay, cool. But if you want any dynamism in your posing on those things, instead of them just standing there like, you have to, like, 1 foot is going to be off the ground.
Yeah, which is annoying.
Which is a bad idea. But
I think that's mostly it for mine. Probably the most recent one that I would hate.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a recent model that I did not enjoy building from Games Workshop or anyone else, but mostly from Games Workshop. Trying to think, but I can't really think of what it was. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, darn it. This is how much I hated building it, apparently.
Yeah.
Is that I can't think of what it was.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Cursed City.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
of the models from Cursed City were a joy to put together.
Yeah.
Except the Death Mage.
Yeah.
First off, he arrived broken, like he did for many Cursed City buyers, because they put his beard on a big bump that went above all the other sprues. Why would you do that? And then the seam line on his back.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he looked like a Scooby-Doo villain.
Yeah.
He did anyway, but especially with the seam lines.
I will say that a lot of the push fit stuff that GW has tried to do,
They're moving away from push fit.
because they're not good at it.
No, they're not. The secret to push fit is you cut off the peg and you just use glue.
I'm sorry, my Gunpla builder, my inner Gunpla builder is like, why would you do that?
Because Games Workshop can't manufacture things to the specifications of Gunpla.
Which is ridiculous to me. Like, you're
Or doesn't bother to.
Or doesn't bother to. That's the thing. But it's worth noting that Gunpla uses a different. For one thing, it's a different plastic. It's much thinner.
Yep.
And for another thing, they have different. They are action figure model kits, not model kits.
They're larger, which helps a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes not by much. Looking at you, Imperial Knights.
Yeah. Well, those aren't push fit.
Yeah, it's true. But point being, there are
coming to a box near you, 2022. Push fit Chaos Knights.
Shoot, I'm in.
It's just a Gunpla with a chaos thing on it.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'd buy one.
Yeah, I'd buy 6.
If it was Gunpla prices, I'd buy a lot.
Yeah, I know, right?
Any other stuff you can think of models you just hated putting together?
Old metal Avatar, old metal Striking Scorpions, old metal Aspect Warriors
I'm
in
trying
general.
to pick on the metal. Like all the Warcaster stuff, I didn't really enjoy putting together.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
because I don't enjoy building metal at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
The models went together fine. They didn't have lots of flashing or
Yeah.
sprue gates. I just don't like metal.
No, I don't either.
So I don't wanna
I
count-
think they actually went through there and made sure
Yeah.
that they didn't have because they come wrapped in wax paper.
Yes.
I think somebody went through there and was just like, all right, here's the metal that came out of it, and they're just like, okay,
They
it's in
very well
pieces
might
now.
have.
Yeah.
Those went together fine. I just hate working with metal, but I'm not trying to think those.
Yeah.
Ikit Claw, I can say objectively, is also a bad model to put together.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't just the fact it was made of metal. It was the fact it was made of metal. It was warped and bent and didn't fit together properly.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Warped and bent. Yeah, white metal is terrible to work with.
Yeah.
Almost as bad as resin.
I prefer resin.
Do you prefer resin when it has a big bubble where the head's supposed to be?
No, haven't had that problem yet because I don't buy Forge Rolled unless I can look inside the box.
Right. I'm thinking of the old fine cast problems.
Oh yeah, I avoid anything that says fine cast like the plague.
Yeah, well, so does everybody else.
I put together one fine cast model. It was the old Grazgul, I think, or no, just the old War Boss.
Yeah.
And it was terrible.
Fine cast is awful.
Yes, it is, but it's dead, and we can all be happy
Yes.
that honk if Finecast is dead. Honk.
So speaking of hobby stuff, we're gonna move on to the hobby corner, formerly known as the Pile of Shame Challenge.
So it was nice talking to you. We'll see you next time. Wait, no. Yeah. So what have you been hobbying about?
Well, most of the hobbying that I've done recently was Tuesday night, honestly.
Yep.
What did I knock over?
You didn't knock over anything. I'm trying to see if the things I hobbied are back behind you.
Oh, yeah, your various and sundry mushrooms.
Yes, I'm actually. You know what? I'll just put the pictures up because my pictures are way better than we're going to get on camera anyway.
Yeah. I also built a Stegodon, which was a big pain in the butt, but not in my top whatever.
Not enough to make the list.
Yeah, but it's down there. Yeah, just there's a lot of flat pieces that need to be stuffed together just very, very specifically, and I just looked at it and I said, what if I didn't, though? I did complete the challenge from 2 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago.
We're talking like 2 months ago at this point,
Yeah.
man.
Where to paint up 2 units from Warhammer Underworlds.
Oh, good.
So
Which 2 units? Was it the Ideneth one?
Yeah.
And which other one?
it was the Ideneth dude and Krabnos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was two models from the same
From
unit,
the
not
same
2
unit,
units.
Yeah. But yeah, and then it's just been I haven't done a whole lot of painting since then, to be perfectly honest.
I've done quite a lot. I
Mhm.
painted these mushroom trees, printed by us here at Lasercraft, and the STLs are from printablescenery.com, who makes a lot of great STLs.
Yeah.
A lot of people really like these mushroom trees, and I think they're right to like them because they are really cool.
Mhm.
I painted those almost entirely with Army Painter speed paints and dry brushing.
Yes.
In fact, yes, I did airbrush the Zenithal on.
Mhm.
Then I pulled a non-oil coat over that to deepen the shadows. Dry brush rack up with an ivory.
Mhm.
Speed paints over it.
ta-da!
Dry brush in a slightly lighter version over the speed paint colors, and you're done.
Yeah.
Took 90 minutes a pop, I think, for each one. At least that's how much I build Mark for. So yeah, I think it was about 90 minutes. Probably a little more on some of them, but once I refined it, it took me 90 minutes.
It goes up and down.
It was a lot of fun to paint
Good.
those. I love the speed paint still. I did not have issues with the durability. I know that's still like a gotcha people love using with the speed paints, like it's some kind of thing. But the reality is if you're dumping water on any paint, it'll reactivate, you dummy. Buy an airbrush brush and varnish. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I don't mean to dismiss it because it is an issue. If you try and actually paint over with thinned paints, you will reactivate them,
Right.
which is a problem. I just don't ever do that with speed paints.
Right.
But there are people who do base coat in contrast in speed paints and then paint details because some people care about their models, CJ. And lots of people do. You put down a base, you zenithal, you put down a base coat with a thinned transparent paint like a speed paint.
Okay.
To see where everything goes, and then you can
okay.
put stuff over it. Like maybe my model is let's say a Caradron dwarf,
Okay.
and then I have he's got his it's an Arcanaut, right? And he's got his cloth, and I'm gonna speed paint that cloth. I'm gonna put contrast on it.
Okay.
But then the belt and the pouches I want to be brown,
Okay.
so I take a brown opaque paint and put over that. If that might reactivate the speed paint,
Oh, okay.
which might cause some weird little issues with things.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Or maybe I want to highlight that cloth a little bit. And one of the things you do with highlighting is you use a very, very, very thin paint. Well, that might reactivate the speed paint. So it is a concern.
Yeah.
But if you varnish in between, it's usually fine. Had a lot of fun with those. Started painting also some burbling pits, which because the ones we painted we painted them acidic and they're more like lava. So I'm going to repaint them as lava. And we got an upgraded version of the skull pits that we swatched from a 40 millimeter nozzle to a 25.
Oh, okay.
So they're
now
much higher definition.
Mhm.
You can actually see the cheekbones on the skulls now. So I'm going to paint those up to make so you can actually see the cheekbones on the skulls now. Because I
There you
think
go.
they look a lot better. They take longer because the 25 millimeter printer nozzle takes longer.
Shocker.
But they look cool. Besides that, I've been mostly building, trying to finish my Cities of Sigmar army, my converted Huracanum, and my converted Outriders.
And gosh darn it, he's been trying.
Yeah, well, I finally got the Outriders from GW.
Yeah.
Thanks, GW, for taking a month and a half to send an order, to even mail the order.
Yeah.
Got here quickly once they sent it.
Right.
And
As is so often the case,
and
right?
refusing to answer my emails or anything like that. Get it when you get it. So I completed 5 of them. I think I already put those on the channel already. I did.
so.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna complete the other 10. The nice thing about getting the new Crown Spine Incarnate is that's 400 points I don't have to worry about. I'm gonna go home and build that probably today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
I did also spend the day putting up a greenhouse. So
It's been busy.
I'm a little tired.
But yeah, hey, speaking of speed paints, if you watched our speed painting tutorial video, the one with the war crime against painting, apparently,
Henry Kissinger called. He wants you to teach him how to paint.
paint something with him. Anyway, I actually did end up finishing the orcs that I started.
Good.
I finished the Wargog bone splitta shaka thing.
Yeah. Shaman dude.
Shaman, yeah. Which we now know is pronounced shaman, apparently, thanks to a White Dwarf article telling us how these things are pronounced. Oh, you didn't catch that one. I'll show it to
Games
you.
Workshop is in no position to tell anybody how to pronounce anything ever, and I don't care if it's correct.
They from Birmingham anyway.
I don't care. They don't get to tell me how to pronounce things. Not with the words they make up. No, I reject this notion wholeheartedly.
Yeah. But anyway, I finished off that one. I finished off the big boss.
Mhm.
I feel pretty good about that. Using entirely speed paints with those.
'Cause
Well,
they're
not
awesome.
not entirely speed paints, but like the only things that aren't speed painted are the very little bit of metal,
Yeah, because
and obviously there's no speed paint metal yet.
there won't be. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't. Transparent and metal, like you can, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Generally, what you do is you put down the metal and then you put a transparent color over it,
Right.
which works great with the speed paints and contrast paints, by the way.
But then I also I went through and I put yellow ochre for the teeth and eyes, which is just like something I do for all my orcs.
Yeah, because it makes sense.
Yeah. And then I went through and I did the entire commando team too in speed paint.
Nice.
Yeah.
That green is a very green green.
It's a very green green.
It is a
yes.
very orc green green. Like, it's the greenest green that is ever green to green. green. Now green has ceased to mean anything. Green.
Stop
green.
Green. Trying to figure out where Games Workshop is actually located.
Nottingham.
Nottingham.
I thought you were making a joke.
I thought, like, I've been watching a lot of Top Gear recently.
Well, while CJ has a minor aneurysm and forgets that Games Workshop is based in Nottingham.
It's southeast of Birmingham. Shut up. I'm tired.
It's England. Everything is like 2 miles southeast of something else. I'm pretty sure London, and you can walk from London to Edinburgh in like an afternoon.
Edinburgh? Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
Okay, yep, that's it. Time to stop.
Nottingham.
Nottingham. Birmingham. Sheboygan.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce.
Anyway,
now we've completely
while we
alienated
butcher
our-
the English language, thank you for listening to this episode of the Miniatures Rundown podcast. We hope to see you next time. If you liked what you listened to, if you liked what you heard, I don't know why you would, but if you did, check out other episodes. They're on the same channel.
Yeah.
We tell you to like and subscribe, but honestly, it's more just like, share it around if you liked it. I would like to know in the comments, what was the worst thing you've ever had to put together?
Yeah.
And do you hate metal as much as me?
I don't think anybody can hate metal as much as you do, but I think they can try and come close.
But
I'm willing to be proven wrong in the comments below.
Please prove CJ wrong in the comments below. And we'll see you next time.
Take care.